Hi everyone, back to a Alpha Team training video. This week, why did Jesus have to die? I'll get into that in a second. But first of all, just a couple of thoughts from the previous few nights that we've run so far. I realise we're all coming from different things. Some people are coming from work, some people are coming from all sorts of stuff. I'll be honest, we find it a bit of a pinch on Thursday nights, getting Josh organised and so on. But as best as we can, there's going to be days where you can't, but as best as we can, as much as possible, it's really important for those of us that are especially group leaders, group helpers, and those that are on the kitchen roster for that particular night to be there as early as possible. So as close to 6 o'clock as you can. It just really helps having that extra few minutes to ask folks to jump into, can you do up some extra name tags, or can you make sure that this urn is switched on, or if something doesn't get switched on, or those last minute things that tend to pop up. It's just super helpful when as a team we've got that extra time. So that just really bless us if you guys can make sure that you're there as close to 6 o'clock as possible. This session coming up is, why did Jesus have to die? It might be a bit different this year because obviously last year we were doing this session, September maybe, early October at the latest. Anyways, probably September. In other words, nowhere near Easter. But of course, this year we're doing this session, and by the time we watch this video, it's only going to be about 8 days until Good Friday and Easter's coming up. And I think for us that are Christians, for us that are group leaders, we need to just be aware that the sort of things that are dealt with in this session, and do watch the video beforehand, but of course the sort of things that are discussed and dealt with in this session are central to our faith. And therefore there will be a temptation to hold tight to certain things, to want to jump in if we feel like someone might be saying an incorrect thing. You can totally still say what you think. That's what Alpha's all about. But, if you are offering a view, make sure it's general, not targeted at a certain person, and allow people to say whatever. I think what I learned going through theological college, especially in the area of the atonement and, the cross and of course the resurrection, the whole Easter thing, is actually the answer to the question, why did Jesus have to die, is not one answer, it's not two answers, not even three answers. It's huge amounts of reasons. There is a plethora of reasons why Jesus had to die, why Easter happens. It's not just about, it is about personal salvation. Please don't get me wrong about that. It absolutely is. But there are whole other things that the New Testament talks about. For example, you've only got to read a few sentences in the book of Colossians where Paul is talking about Jesus disarming the powers of evil, for example, through the cross. So there's this whole backdrop of this major cosmic battle going on, and the disarming of the powers and the principalities, the renewal of creation. Oh my goodness, justice satisfied, all that fulfillment of prophecy. The list goes on and on and on. So what I'm trying to get at here is that what we're going to be talking about on Thursday is just like this kind of tiny tip of an iceberg, which just goes on and on and on and on under the surface. It is overwhelmingly rich and nuanced. And the best way to really see that is to do what we're doing, to just have an open-ended discussion about why did Jesus have to die. And of course, you've got the questions there on the run sheet, and there's a discussion guide attached. But you might find it really interesting, not just what new folks coming into the church for the first time may say in response to that, but also you may find it interesting, some of the insights offered by people in your group that you've been sitting next to on Sunday morning for maybe 10 years or whatever. And you might be like, oh, okay, that's a new way to look at it. So let's enjoy Thursday night. Thank you again so much for being part of the Alpha team. We're making a difference. in people's lives.